discovered, bearing in mind we're just doing the pillars first, but what I have discovered is that the previous glass bedding is holding this action forward of where it should be in the stock, very slightly, to the point that it's sitting forward of the heel. The action is actually sitting forward. You can see a gap at the back, and I've discovered that a little better because trying to put the tubes fit fine. The bolts, the original bolts, fit in the tube beautifully. They really are a good fit, but the screws will not screw into the action very well. They're offset. So what I've discovered is that the action is forward very slightly. Now if it's forward slightly, get a little closer, that tells me this here needs to be trimmed. Now the whole thing is going to be glass bedded later. That's the next step. So I'm going to trim some off there. Let's see what happens. And just to speed through things here, rather than showing you putting the glue in and putting the tubes in, I thought I'd just whip through this process here. So all I'm doing is mixing up some epoxy, and I'm going to fit the tubes, and then essentially all I do then is fit the action to the stock, and then I'll wrap some rubber tubing around it. I'm using rubber tubing because I don't want to use securing bolts to over tighten it at this point. I just want the tubes to set in the correct position, the pillars that is, and once the epoxy has fully cured, that's when they'll really go to work. So I don't want to do anything that will cause them to set too deep, too shallow, to slide one way or the other. I'm just using the upper and lower action against the existing stock to gently hold the tubes in, the pillars in place, essentially. So using the stock and the action to work in our favour, I'm just wrapping it with some elastic tubing there. It doesn't look too elegant, but it certainly does the job. So it doesn't have to look pretty, as long as it is stretched around the tube, around the stock and the action, it'll do the job. And there you have it. And then just be patient, let it fully cure. See you again for the next installment. Take care.